Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News. Today, 15th May 2026. Equivalent Islamic calendar 28 Zulqa'dah 1447 after the Hijrah of the Noble Prophet. In the headlines, President Tinubu, Kagame agreed to deepen bilateral ties. Ruling All Progressives Congress adjusts timetable for House of Representatives primary election. Federal government to formally launch nationwide digital switch over. And on the international scene, Ukraine confirms huge wave of Russian drone attack. And on sport updates, FIFA President Infantino pledges memorable 2026 World Cup tournament. Details of these and more will be coming to you in the news bulletin. I am Sumaya Mustafa. Stand by. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his Kenyan counterpart, Paul Kagame, have decided to activate mechanisms to deepen bilateral ties between Nigeria and Rwanda. Special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who disclosed this in a statement, said upon arrival in Rwanda for the African CEO Forum, Tinubu met with Kagame at the Urugwiro Presidential Villa. He added that both leaders stressed the importance of reviving the Joint Permanent Ministerial Commission, JPMC, originally signed by both countries in 2021 as a vital platform for advancing their shared objectives. They also agreed that Nigeria should host the next meeting of the Commission. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu noted that Nigeria would seriously consider reciprocating Rwanda's 30-day visa-free status for Nigerians in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Moving on, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has welcomed the outcomes of the 10th France to Nigeria Business Council meeting held at the Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi, Kenya, describing them as a signal that Nigeria and France are moving from dialogue to delivery. Special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, in a press statement, said Tinubu noted that with trade between both countries reaching $4.7 billion in 2025, and Nigeria remaining the top destination for French investment in sub-Saharan Africa, he noted that the relationship now carries real economic weight and must be translated into more jobs, industries, infrastructure, and shared prosperity. The President applauded the current chairman of the France-Nigeria Business Council, Aiboje Aig Imakude, for convening a productive session that brought together leading Nigerian and French private sector players. Members of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, have been urged to prioritize unity and sportsmanship as nationwide primaries commences. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a statement marking the beginning of the primaries from House of Representatives contest on May 15 to presidential polls on May 25, described the exercise as a referendum on our unity, resilience, and strength as a party. He also warned against rancorous conduct that could undermine the party's strength ahead of the 2026 general elections. The President commended ongoing consensus efforts under the Electoral Act 2026 and party constitution, calling it a commendable option that would help in reducing rancor and bad blood among party members. Tinubu also directed the party leaders, governors, and officials to ensure a level playing field. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has postponed its House of Representatives primary election for the 2027 general elections by 1 day, while maintaining the rest of its previously announced timetable. APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, in a statement, clarified that previously announced primary election dates remain unchanged except for the House of Representatives exercise. He explained that the adjustment does not affect other scheduled primaries, including those for the Senate, State House of Assembly, governorship, and presidency. The statement added that the Senate's primary election will still hold on Monday, May 18, 2026, while the State House of Assembly primary is fixed for Wednesday, May 20, 2026. The governorship primary remains scheduled for Thursday, May 21, 2026, with the presidential primary slated for Saturday, May 23, 2026. Moving on, Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has approved the appointment of Bashir Abdullahi Gusau as Director General of the Zamfara State Roads Fund. The Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Mohammed Nakwada, while announcing the appointment, disclosed that the developments followed passage of the law establishing the State Roads Fund. It was gathered that the fund is one of the requirements under the Rural Access and Agricultural Market Project, RAMP, in Nigeria, RAMP is a World Bank-supported initiative designed to secure, manage and disburse financing for the upgrade and maintenance of rural roads, with the aim of improving agricultural logistics across rural communities. Governor Lawal also expects the appointee to work with utmost integrity and apply his expertise in managing the fund to drive the development of Zamfara State in line with the rescue agenda of the administration. The Zamfara State government has approved the immediate commencement of gratuity payments for Batch 4 beneficiaries covering the 2024-2025 exercise as part of renewed efforts to clear outstanding entitlement of retired civil servants in the state. The directive, announced in a statement signed by the Ministry of Information and Culture and issued by the Commissioner, Mahmoud Mohammed Lentawasa, ordered the Office of the Accountant General to begin processing payments without delay. According to the statement, the move reflects the administration's commitment under Governor Dauda Lawal to prioritize the welfare of pensioners and ensure that retirees receive their entitlements promptly. It's added that the decision underscores what it described as the administration's sincerity and compassion in addressing pension-related challenges across the state. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television Global News. Still to come in the news. Federal government to formally launch nationwide digital switchover. And on the international scene, Ukraine confirms huge wave of Russian drone attack. And on sport update, FIFA President Infantino pledges memorable 2026 World Cup tournament. Details of these and more will be coming to you after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break, and now the news continues. The federal government is set to launch a nationwide digital switchover (DSO) platform on June 17, promising free access to over 100 channels, improved picture quality, wider content distribution, and real-time audience measurement for advertisers. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced this during a facility tour of NICOMSAT, alongside the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC), Charles Ebuebe, and other stakeholders. He emphasized that the long-awaited migration from analog to digital broadcasting had finally become a reality after years of failed attempts and delays, describing the project as a major breakthrough for Nigeria's broadcasting industry. The minister said several channels had already been bundled onto the platform, adding that the digital transition would transform broadcasting, advertising and television consumption across Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa. On his part, NBC Director General Charles Ebuebe said the initiative was designed to align Nigeria's broadcasting sector with emerging technologies and changing audience behavior, especially among young people. Still in the news, the presidency has defended his administration's support for the Dangote refinery, saying Nigeria could have faced a major crisis amid current global conflicts without local refining capacity. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made the remarks on the sidelines of the 13th Africa CEO Forum in Rwanda. Tinubu noted that Nigeria's large population and dependence on petroleum products made it imperative to support domestic refining initiatives such as the Dangote refinery. He added that supporting the refinery was a strategic decision aimed at strengthening Nigeria's energy security and reducing dependence on imported fuel. The statement is coming amid heightened tensions in the Middle East, where ongoing conflicts and security threats around major oil-producing and shipping routes have continued to raise concerns over global crude supply and fuel prices. An Abuja High Court has jailed former Minister of Power, Saleh Mamman, for 75 years for diverting funds meant for major hydropower projects. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, convicted and sentenced Mamman on 12 counts of 33.8 million naira fraud, imposing varying prison terms that he ordered to run consecutively. Judge Omotosho sentenced the convict to 7 years imprisonment on 12 count charges without an option of a fine. The judge also sentenced him to a 3-year jail term on count 4 with an option of a 10 million naira fine and 2 years imprisonment on count 5 without an option of a fine. The court ordered that the sentences attached to each of the 12 counts run consecutively, not concurrently. A concurrent term would have amounted to 7 years imprisonment, the highest imposed for any of the counts. Moving on, former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, His wife and son are facing 16 money laundering charges involving 8.7 billion naira suspected to be proceeds of crime. A compliance officer with Zenith Bank PLC, Marcelia Ariel Bata, told an Abuja High Court that the bank filed a suspicious transaction report (STR) in respect of transactions linked to Malami. STR in respect of transactions linked to Malami. Bata testified before Judge Joyce Abdul Malik as the fourth prosecution witness in the ongoing trial of Mr. Malami, his wife, Asaba Bashir, and son, Abdulaziz Malami. The defendants are facing 16 money laundering charges involving 8.7 million naira suspected to be proceeds of crime. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, accused them of conspiring to conceal, disguise, and retain the proceeds of alleged unlawful activities. And on the international scene, Ukrainian authorities have confirmed a huge wave of Russian strikes targeted at Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, killing at least 17 people and injuring dozens of others. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia fired over 1,560 drones on Ukraine since the start of Wednesday, making it the largest aerial attack on Ukraine in a 2-day period since the war began. He added that 56 missiles were launched overnight. According to CNN's team on the ground, air raid alarms sounded for roughly 11 hours throughout Wednesday and overnight. State Emergency Service of Ukraine said aerial videos shows the aftermath of a Russian attack on an apartment building in Kyiv. According to the emergency service, about 16 people were killed in an attack on a 9-story residential building in Kyiv. And lastly, on sport updates, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says preparations for the 2026 World Cup are progressing smoothly, insisting that the tournament will deliver an unforgettable experience for fans across the world. The global football showpiece will be jointly hosted by Canada, Mexico, and the United States, with less than a month to go before kickoff across the expanded 104-match format. According to a post on FIFA's website, Infantino said preparations are going actually extremely well, adding that the scale of preparation across all host cities reflects the importance of the tournament. The FIFA boss also noted that the 3 host nations are fully aligned in the preparations, with stadium upgrades, pitch installations, and logistics being finalized ahead of the global event. The tournament is slated to commence on June 11 in Mexico City, where Mexico will face South Africa in the opening match. Finally, on the news, here is a recap of the top stories again. President Tinubu, Kagame agreed to deepen bilateral ties. Ruling All Progressives Congress adjusts timetable for House of Representatives primary election. Federal government to formally launch nationwide digital switch over. And on the international scene, Ukraine confirms huge wave of Russian drone attack. And on sport updates, FIFA President Infantino pledges memorable 2026 World Cup tournament. And that is the size of the global news today. On behalf of the news editor, Iliadamu Auta, and the production crew, I am Sumaya Mustafa, thanking you and bye for now.